Hey, it's Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what we're talking about is winter fishing for sheepshead. In the wintertime, it's all about water temperature for fish. You know, they're just like a lizard or anything else that's cold-blooded. They need to find a comfortable temperature, and they got to find food. So it's different from the summertime when the water, at least where I'm fishing, is usually shallow water inshore. It's different. You know, in the summertime, you got to get up at the crack of dawn and get out there fishing right off the bat because the water's usually too hot in that shallow water come noon, 1 o'clock. So you're basically done unless you go down deep, find them deep. Well, the opposite is true in the wintertime. In the wintertime, you want to go deep early and then shallow late. So that's what we're going to talk about right now, is just how to do that and how to target these fish. All right, so winter fishing for sheepshead. Like I just said, get up late. You're not in a hurry in the wintertime. Get up, you know, you don't have to be on the water before the sun comes up like you do in the summertime. You want to get out there. You're out on the water by 9 o'clock or something like that, so you take your time. And like I said, you want to go deep early. So you're going to be fishing around deeper bridge pilings, deeper docks. Remember, they're very structure-oriented sheepshead. They like eating barnacles and things off of the dock pilings and all these different things. So you're going to go deep early, deep rivers with mangroves around them. You know, I think you get the idea. You go deep with structure, something that has barnacles around it. Probably a great place to find these guys. But you got to be deep because the water is going to be warmer there early. And then again, you're going to turn around and go shallow late. So now you can fish and, you know, you can go pitch to the mangroves or whatever, or even shallow docks. Later in the day, they might only be 2-3 feet deep, and you'll have sheepshead up on them because the water's well warmed up. And here's another thing: you really want to slow your retrieve with these. And I'm going to show you some of the baits that I like. They're pretty simple. There's not much to the baits that you use to catch sheepshead. But first of all, in the morning, I like to have a heavy jig head with maybe a scented bait like a gulp or something, or just a jig head with a shrimp. And you just pitch it up to whatever that structure is and just kind of bounce it on the bottom looking for these fish. And then as the water warms up, I'm sure that if you've seen any of my videos, I love a popping cork. Here's a rattle cork, you know, right here. A little bit of leader. And this is a fake shrimp right here that I would use. But it could be anything here. It could be a real shrimp, a piece of shrimp. It could be a fiddler crab. It can be anything. Just some sort of crustacean seems to work best. I mean, they'll eat fish, they'll eat pilchards, but they really prefer creatures like this. Some sort of crustacean up there. And they're not afraid of that cork. They'll come right over to it. But you really want to downsize your hooks when you're fishing for sheepshead, unless there's some really big sheepshead around. You really want to downsize your hook. So this is probably not, I'd probably go even with a smaller hook than this. Fishing for them, you know, I wouldn't be using this very much, but just wanted to show you kind of the setup. So that's your setup that you're going to have right there. All right, let me go ahead and show you some of these. If you don't fish with gulp, you gotta fish with gulp for some of these fish because they're very scent oriented. Sheepshead is one of those. This is a gulp, just a new penny, but it can be anything. Root beer works, a white or pearl works, a glow works. For these sheepshead. Again, you're just going to pitch it up there, bounce it to them real slow. Small jig head, if you see how small that is, that's an eighth ounce jig head with a shrimp or anything like that. It's just great. Or even a shrimp pitched up to the mangroves with a split shot on it will work just fine. You know, and that's really where you're looking for these fish. Deep early, shallow late, but sheepshead are fun, and they're very cold water tolerant. And that's another thing you just want to keep in mind. They're a very cold water tolerant fish. So you can catch sheepshead first thing in the morning if you want to get out there early. But usually I still like to be out there a little bit later. And any of the crabs work just fine. The shrimp's going to work fine. You can use fish, you know, little pilchards or whatever. But I'm telling you, it's probably better to use the shrimp. And we can all get shrimp at the store basically. But that's it as far as sheepshead fishing. Sheepshead's really simple. You know, they're not something you catch on top water very often or anything like that. But they're around. You just got to fish the structure, somewhere where there's barnacles and things that you know they're going to be feeding on. But there's more of this information right on our website. We have a how-to section, a where-to, a what-to. The whole website, fishyourassoff.com, is a website full of simple tips to help fishermen catch more fish. But that's it for the Sheepshead thing, so until next time, we'll see you then. All right, bye-bye.